welcome back to the Micpt Reading Circle Podcast. I'm going to share with you all a book, the book. It's so exciting. N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo by Alonzo Williams. So, this episode is about learning hip hop history through the pages of N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo. Do know that his book is available inside the Made in Compton Store, and it is autographed. And he also has audio books, and he has entertainment cards as well. And if you're in the local area of Made in Compton Store, 906 South Willowbrook Avenue, Unit B, Compton, California, please stop by and pick up your copy. All right. Just definitely want to welcome you once again to the Micpt Reading Circle, where every book opens a conversation. Every reader discovers something new, and every author helps preserve history. So thank you for joining. Whether you're a lifelong reader or just getting started, we're glad you're here. The Micpt Reading Circle exists to encourage reading, celebrate authors, and remind our community that books are one of the greatest investments we can make in ourselves. So today's episode reminds us that reading isn't just about fiction or textbooks, it's also about understanding the people, places, and moments that shape our culture. All right. So just with that in mind, keep it in the forefront of your mind. If you think that there's somebody that you know that you would love for them to write a book, or like they say, they should write a book, please let them know about the Made in Compton Store. All right. There's book placement there. There's opportunity for documentary, interviews, email marketing, so much to support an author. All right. So today's featured book is N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo by Alonzo Williams. Many people know the music of N.W.A., but fewer know the behind the scenes stories from someone who witnessed the group's early development firsthand. Books like this invite readers to explore history from a personal perspective and to think critically about how movements, music, and communities influence one another. And it's something about sitting with the book yourself and being that Alonzo, he actually has a podcast himself that airs on Tuesdays, and he does a lot to be visual in his hip hop, one and only hip hop legends newspaper, and there's a plethora of information. You can also go on. I'll have that website. Matter of fact, I can look that up for you now. Oh my goodness, it is the legends because I'm mixed up with the legends are made in Compton open mic auditions that happen on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Made in Compton Store. Hub City Legend is the name of Alonzo's newspaper. And Hub City Legend, I just typed it in .com, and to note that it is exactly that, hubcitylegend.com. And you can see the latest issues. And let me share that here on the screen. And those of you that may be listening through audio on different platform, please note, yes, sharing the site called the one and only Hub City Legend, and that is here on I'm streaming from StreamYard, and that is another place that you can go. Really, for some reason, it's having a challenge with doing that. Try it one more time for those of you that are watching live. Okay. Yes, there is a challenge. Just please simply go to Hub City Legend. I'll type that here at the bottom of the screen then, because I was trying to share that, share my screen so you can go with me to that website. But I'll just put it here as a banner. It is hubcitylegend.com. Make sure you can see that. hubcitylegend.com. So there's a plethora of information there from the one and only Alonzo. Shout out to Adamu. I see you in the comments area. Thank you for participating. And just know that, yeah, this show, the one and only Micpt Reading Circle podcast, is shared across various platforms because it's a lot of literary platforms and that I want to share with the world about the authors that have their books placed at the Compton Store. All right, so hubcitylegend.com. All right, that is a very good resource. All right, so I'm going to continue on with more information here for the MICPT Media Hub, from the Media Hub, if you will. The platform is a part of the whole ecosystem of the Made in Compton store. All right, so going forward, note that let's explore a few questions. So, why is it important to document history while the people who lived it can still tell their stories? How does music reflect the communities where it was created? What can entrepreneurs learn from people who built movements before social media existed? How does reading firsthand accounts deepen our understanding of history? Every generation has stories that deserve to be preserved. If those stories aren't written down, future generations may only know fragments of what really happened. Books give us an opportunity to slow down, reflect, and understand history beyond sound bites. That's why the MICPT Reading Circle believes reading is one of the strongest tools for lifelong learning. So let's think about it. Here's today's Reading Circle question. What book has helped you better understand your community, your culture, or your history? And those of you that will be listening in the future to this live podcast, if you would kindly put your comments in the comment area or DM if you're on social media like Facebook. What book has helped you better understand your community, your culture, or your history? Or if you're in a literary circle where I have, or a literary platform where I have us place this link to this live podcast, please also share in the comment area of that platform. Thank you. So thank you again for taking time to participate in this reading circle, and know that you can take time this week because I'll be back on for the next week, and so that way you have plenty of time to think about your answer, and of course just give me time to circulate this podcast as well. And please, by all means, share with a friend, family member, coworker, or someone in the MICPT Reading Circle. So great conversations often begin with a single question. So I have a few questions here. And once again, why is it important to document history while the people who lived it can still tell their stories? Remember, every generation has stories that deserve to be preserved. If those stories aren't written down, future generations may only know fragments of what really happened. All right. And just wanted to go back here to make sure that not without Alonzo, that's what N.W.A stands for, by Alonzo Williams, his book, which is featured today. So, just to know whether you're interested in hip hop history, entrepreneurship, cultural change, or the evolution of West Coast music, this book encourages readers to look beyond headlines and discover the experiences that helped shape an era. One of the greatest gifts a book offers is context. Reading allows us to understand not only what happened, but why it mattered. Of course, if there is a movie that's made about you or has excerpts about you, or you somebody's playing you, and maybe something that's not precisely in context, and you have, you know, in your intellectual property and experience, you may just want to write your book. Okay. So just as well as knowing that Alonzo Williams decided to write his book, and he does other movies. He has movies that he showcases in different communities. He does book signings. So he's very vital with sharing his information. And again, he has a podcast, and he also has the Hub City Legend, and there excerpt and more information that he provides about himself. And if you purchase one of his books from the Compton Store, then you actually get a chance to talk to him because we can call him. So that's always pretty neat. Also, just to note that there is another, I want to say here about sharing with you his YouTube channel. Okay. And that is the one and only Alonzo. And I have a few channels here. So I want to be able to share that. And I will do that on a commercial. Let's take a quick commercial, and I will place that information at the bottom of the screen here, which I am airing live on StreamYard. So here's a quick commercial, and I'll have that YouTube channel for you.
Did you ask though? Did you? Did you ask about the 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. the secret deal? Oh, don't be moving too fast though. Walk right in like you already know. Walk in chill like what's the deal? They might smile like it's real. Oh, it's real. No live signs, no big display. But the ones who ask get blessed that day. Try and save while you look fly too. Whole outfit got a vibe brand new. Don't be shy. Just ask one time. You might walk out feeling extra fine. Friend restless. Wait, you didn't ask? Did you ask though? Don't miss out. 2 p.m., 5 p.m. flow. Every day made it count the stove. Now you know.
Oh my goodness. I tell you, there's so much information about Alonzo Williams. I was looking on my other channel here, and I said, I just need to go on my phone, and so I can share that information with you. And it's something about going live. You already know if this was pre recorded, I would have already edited this information out. But this is what you get to learn about people, and when you do go live, and whether you have a guest or not. So just want to share that. Yeah, Alonzo Williams has been on various platforms, but he has his own Tuesday. He has his own Tuesday channel on Tuesday podcast. Oh my goodness. And there's N.W.A stories. And oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go to another commercial after this in a minute because it's not coming up here right away. And I know I subscribed to his channel. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Shout out to N.W.A Stories with Alonzo. That is the name of his podcast. Okay, 2 days ago he just uploaded. I'm gonna date this podcast with he interviewed Big A. Okay, and that's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Oh my goodness! So now I'm gonna watch that after I do this podcast. Okay, so Micpt Reading Circle Podcast. You will learn on the fly. You will learn in live time when you listen to this later on, and you share with other people. They will learn too. Like, it's really extraordinary to learn from music, as well as literature, as well as experience, and on the fly. So it's going to be just just a while longer, but shout out to it's all about NWA, not without Alonzo, his book, and sometimes it's just so extraordinary. Oh my gosh, I he's been having that podcast for a long time, and the Hub City legend, the Made in Compton Store, is inside the one and only Hub City Legend newspaper too for over a year. You know, absolutely. So just know that it is a very interesting book. Of course, you're going to get a plethora of history. If you don't know, he also has Eve After Dark, and changed names once upon a time, but his office is still there, Avalon and El Segundo, and those are the same steps that so many superstars of today have walked upstairs and performed on the stage there. I remember meeting DJ Jazzy Entertainment there. I mean, a plethora of information. I'm talking about stellar information. DJ Clientele, he was performing there, and this is before he became the mayor of California City, which DJ Clientele is one of the um, artists in Lonzo's the collaborative group, world class wrecking crew. So I'm telling you, it's just a plethora of information in this book, N.W.A, not without Alonzo. So just think about what book has helped you better understand your community, your culture, or your history. That is today's reading circle question. Remember, take time to answer. And you have a week. I'm going to feature another book next week. Please share with a friend. And I just want a family member, coworker, somebody in the Micpt reading circle. Maybe it's an author you already know, or somebody else that you want to invite to start reading books with you, because it may just be something new that you want to embark upon. And if you listen to it and you're like, oh, I haven't even thought about being part of a reading circle, but I want to write my own book, but it might be helpful to be a part of a reading circle too. So going forward, remember that every book preserves a piece of history, every author contributes another perspective, every reader keeps those stories alive. Maybe your experiences aren't about the music industry. Maybe they're about your neighborhood, your business, your family, your career, or your faith. Whatever your story may be, it deserves consideration. So remember, read a chapter from a book that expands your understanding of history or culture. Some people call it like a challenge, but this is just something. Maybe it could be a to do list, or it could be self improvement, or it could be whatever you deem this list is called. But this is one way that we help one another. Obviously, I need to read more. I haven't been reading as much as I would like to, but I am encouraged because I'm saying this live, and that would help me with more learning about more riddles and parables and so much more. So I know reading is definitely, you can tell when a person's well read or a person's been reading lately at times. All right. So support an author by purchasing, borrowing, or recommending a book. And with that in mind, know that we have the next child. Sometimes there are children that come into the Made in Compton store and they want a book. Especially when Dr. Steve O had those books, because they felt so good. And just looking at that sweet potato pie and that Pixar picture, I'm telling you, every child wanted that book. And it was like the parents parents were like, I came in here for a t-shirt. I'm about to run out of here. I just got we gonna come back. And it was just like, oh man. And then of course I had to buy some books. Absolutely, because I'm like, I can't believe it. It's like some children, they are in awe, like, oh wow, this is how close I'm getting to one of these Pixar pictures or something. And just like I know when I was teaching, some of the children just said they'd never been to the beach. Like literally, never been to the beach. And I was like, wow. Now I can, create a field trip and get them to the beach and so forth. But it was something about the shells. You have the teacher stores where you can go buy real shells and everything like that. And then the texture, of course, is different. And, of course, then you have the children wash their hands and everything. But just to actually feel a real shell from the beach was extraordinary. And it's, it's just something about the books. They can just venture into different worlds. And sometimes, of course, some books are more serious than others. And some books, some people deem uh, certain books as age level. And but yet some children are so well advanced that you just have to figure out what their reading level is, but to comprehend the context and the information is second to none, because sometimes if the child can read better than what somebody thinks, because they're reading the words that they know, and because they are have that, let's say, they have that wittedness that they can put together, they can analyze, they can put that information together and really understand the text. And that's just like, it's amazing how, some children can do that. And then, of course, there's other children that just wanted to have a book of their own, because it's something about seeing other children that come to school with their own books that their parents took them to a library. And some of those books, maybe they were purchased by a grandparent for a birthday, or the parents actually took them to Barnes and Noble or something like that, and the child got their own book. And then they don't have to turn it back into the school library. And it's some other children that love books just as much, but the parents don't know that they really want a book. And it's like, I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Because I, even back in the day, I knew that. And so I would purchase books that they could just have. And I used to create a student store in different grade levels, so that way they can use the money that they would earn from keeping their desk clean and all that kind of stuff, and the school bucks and fake money, but they would monopoly money and everything. And then but they would really actually be able to buy their own book. And so I have them practice making their own books too, out of paper, fold the paper in half, and then put the staples on the edge and everything like that. Put tape over it so they wouldn't be bothered with the staples, and they could create their own book and draw lines with a ruler, and then create pictures. So they would literally have their own book, and you could just see that they just love that. If some of them, it was their first book they ever created, you know. So maybe that was like kindergarten. Some kindergartners, they learn how to write letters. Some of the kindergartners can do better than the second and third graders. And then, but then there's different times. First graders doing better than fourth graders, and so forth. Fourth graders are already on high school level, but you just never know. So I'm looking at children coming in the door at the Made and Compton store, and they're looking at these books, and I don't know what their reading level is and everything, but I can see the eagerness in their eyes. Like, if I could have that book. And it's just like, so that's where this next child, to be able to donate to the children, will be awesome. So I know the reading circle, and a reading circle is full circle, but most often people think, well, if we're going to read this page and this chapter and so forth. Okay, yes, we do that too. But it's so much to learn, to teach, to share in a reading circle. So I'm just sharing that today. And about that next child, because I just read that portion about this agenda I have today. Support an author by purchasing, borrowing, or recommending a book. And that's where that comes from. And one more thing about that, uh, for parents that may not know, that when a child is in a reading group in a classroom, sometimes they're able to choose a book. Other times, based on their reading level, there's a certain area of books that they can choose from. And sometimes they want to choose another book from a different reading level. And that causes friction sometimes because they are so engaged in the book cover that they just have this instant connection that they want to read that book. So, just so you know, at different times, I would let those two children read together. So then that way, that other child, the child that wants to read the other book, they could switch books for a time frame and read to each other. And in essence, the child that really wanted to read that from that other book got that opportunity. But I tell you, it's a serious thing when it comes down time for those reading groups and the testing for reading and so forth. So it's really something else to think about because it's a lot of children. They want to go places, they want to do different things, and these books will help them with their visions, with their dreams and their wants while they're a child or not in a position to go to some of these places or learn about some of these places during school time because there's all these minutes. They only have 26 minutes for history, or they only have 17 minutes and a half for math, or something like that, for a math story or what have you. And it's like, yeah, because we do have in schools there are books that deal with math, and there's math story time and that type of thing. But it's something extraordinary about that. So come visit the Made in Compton store. The next child, if you even purchase a book, leave a book there, or you want to read the book and bring it back to the store, and you're still supporting the author, and at the same time you got a chance to read the book, and then in essence it won't just sit on your shelf, and that's the book by the author that has the book placement and is really cares about putting their book having their book placed in the Made in Compton store, and actually contributing to the next child as well. But this way we can work this circle together, and children that may not have the opportunity to get that book because the parents is you know just happened to bring them with them and just was coming in there for one other thing, and it's not ordinary. I don't think it's out of the ordinary. Like people say, sometimes they go to a clothing store and there's bookshelf, a book placement, and all these authors and this whole campaign and everything like that. So just want to put that out there. Invite someone to become part of the Micpt Reading Circle. Yeah, there's a plethora of things that we're going to talk about and do and share. And I'm looking forward to more authors coming to the Made in Compton store and having their books placed there, of course. And we have the Media Hub next door. And of course, we're looking for more authors or readers of books that would like to come and read a book on the open mic, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's free right now, and that's on Saturday. So it's just a lot of fun. So begin writing down one story from your own life that future generations would benefit from reading. That would be something else to think about. So as a recap, read a chapter from a book that expands your understanding of history or culture. Share one insight with someone else. Support an author by purchasing or borrowing or recommending a book. Invite someone to the Micpt Reading Circle as well as a Made in Compton store. As well as the Made in Compton store. Begin writing down one story from your own life that future generations will benefit from reading. And history doesn't preserve itself. People preserve history. Authors preserve history. Readers preserve history. Communities preserve history. The Micpt Reading Circle believes that every book has the potential to bridge generations, encourage conversations, and inspire new ideas. The more we read, the more we understand. The more we understand, the stronger our communities become. So this week's featured selection was N.W.A, Not Without Alonzo. It is. Okay. It, until next week, because then next week we'll have another book. So, Not Without Alonzo by Alonzo Williams. Whether you're passionate about hip hop, interested in Los Angeles history, fascinated by entrepreneurship, or simply enjoying and I want to say Los Angeles County because all of the neighboring, it's a lot of neighboring cities in Los Angeles County. Okay, so know that there may be people that's fascinated by entrepreneurship or simply enjoy learning from firsthand accounts. This book offers another perspective on a significant chapter in music and culture. And let Alonzo say it. He gonna say so many more things. So I'm gonna look forward to having an interview with him about his book. Okay, so read it thoughtfully, discuss it respectfully, and bring your insights back to the Micpt Reading Circle, the one and only book, N.W.A, Now Without Alonzo by Alonzo Williams. And thank you for joining me for another episode of the Micpt Reading Circle. If this is your first time tuning in, please note that on the podcast, I will put that in the description area on the Micpt Channel 12 content that's on YouTube. Uh, I will put that on the description for this podcast so that way people can listen to the other couple of podcasts from there's two other authors that are new to the Made in Compton store that are placed there on the bookshelf. Miss Arlise Matthews is Nothing to It But to Do It. That's the name of her book. And then the one and only Village Produce, written by Dr. Coretta L. Briscoe. All right. So read, reflect, discuss, preserve. Books help us understand where we've been. Authors help us understand why it matters. Readers help carry those lessons into the future. We'll see you next time as we continue exploring books that inform, inspire, and strengthen our communities. Until then, keep reading because every page has the potential to broaden your perspective. And remember, you can come and read your book at the Made in Compton store. There's an Micpt Media Hub, and we have an open mic on Saturdays, 11 a.m., 4 p.m. Maybe it's a poem. You have a book of poems. Maybe you want to read a couple of poems because every person that gets on the mic has 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. And if it's not as many people, you can get back on stage. All right. So just so you know, that's what's taking place. A platform for authors, readers, and definitely we appreciate you once again. Have a great time. Until next time, please share about the Micpt Reading Circle podcast.